The U.S. says the flight will be carried out wherever international law permits after talks with Russia. United States Defense Secretary Lloyd on Wednesday vowed that they will fly the U.S. aircraft wherever international law allows, and warned Russia that it must operate with caution after an American drone was allegedly crashed by one of the Russian jets. The statement was made by Austin shortly after he spoke with his Russian counterpart Sergei Shoigu over the phone about the incident that took place over the Black Sea on Tuesday when two Russian fighters allegedly hit an unmanned U.S. surveillance drone and its propeller was damaged. The incident was labeled by the United States as reckless and unprofessional, while Moscow refuted the allegations and Washington was instead accused of conducting hostile flights in the region. The United States will continue to fly and to operate wherever international law allows, said Austin while speaking to reporters after the call with Shoigu. And it is incumbent upon Russia to operate its military aircraft in a safe and professional manner, he added. U.S. Joint Chiefs Chairman Mark Milley said that the video and the data retrieved from the drone are still being analyzed by the Pentagon to see what exactly happened. Was it intentional or not? Don't know yet. We know that the intercept was intentional. We know that the aggressive behavior was intentional. We also know it was very unprofessional and very unsafe, said Milley. The actual contact of the fixed-wing Russian fighter with our UAV, the physical contact with those two, not sure yet, he added. Appreciating the call, Austin said, we take any potential for escalation very seriously, and that's why I believe it's important to keep the lines of communication open. I think it's really key that we're able to pick up the phone and engage each other. And I think that will help to prevent miscalculation going forward, he added. Meanwhile, Shoigu, in talks with Austin, said that increased intelligence activities against the interests of the Russian Federation, as well as the non-compliance with the restricted flight zone, declared by Moscow because of its military campaign in Ukraine led to the incident with the drone, said the Defense Ministry in a statement. The Russian ministry further warned that it would react, proportionately, to any provocations by the U.S. in future. Flights of American strategic unmanned aerial vehicles off the coast of Crimea are provocative in nature, which creates preconditions for an escalation of the situation in the Black Sea zone, the ministry stated. Russia is not interested in such a development of events, but it will continue to respond proportionately to all provocations, it added. Earlier in the day, Moscow on Wednesday said that the wreckage of a U.S. military drone will be retrieved by the officials. In televised remarks, Russian Security Council Secretary Nikolai Patrushev said that Moscow would retrieve the wreckage of the downed craft but remained unsure if they would achieve success. But it has to be done. And we will certainly work on it, he stated. Russia-Ukraine war front lines shifted to Bakhmut in August, where they have remained. Both sides have suffered catastrophic losses, and some experts predict Ukraine will pull out of the battle-ravaged city soon. Ukrainian soldiers face constant shelling from Russian forces, and one soldier described the horrors in an interview with the Kyiv Independent. When they drive us to Bakhmut, I already know I'm being sent to death, Volodymyr, a 54-year-old Ukrainian soldier, told the Independent. The newspaper withheld the soldier's last name for his safety. Volodymyr described situations in which Ukrainian soldiers were ill-equipped to return fire, as Russian forces unleashed constant shelling and artillery attacks. Russians have inched closer to victory in Bakhmut after a renewed effort around the one-year anniversary of the war in late February. Russian forces now surround the city on three sides, and troops are supplemented by soldiers from the Wagner Group, a private Russian military company headed by Yevgeny Prigozhin. However, Ukraine continues to defend the city. Retreating from Bakhmut would grant Russia its first victory in the war since July. Throughout the winter, the war has remained at a stalemate with high casualties on both sides. Some Ukrainian officials have toyed with the idea of a strategic retreat, but a Ukrainian senior lieutenant told The Independent that he hasn't heard any withdrawal plans. Center for Strategic and International Studies senior advisor Mark Kansian told Newsweek that it appears Ukraine decided to try to hold Bakhmut instead of retreating.